Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Funtastic Academy. Today we'll continue from where we left off last episode and learn about Heapsort. Last time we saw about what heaps are and how to make them. Today we'll learn about how to use heaps to sort numbers and how fast the time complexity of Heapsort is. But before we continue, let me answer the quiz question from the last episode. Last episode, we asked you about who was the inventor of Heapsort and in what year was it invented. The answer is that Heapsort was invented by J.W.J. Williams in 1964. In the same paper, he also introduced the concept of the heap for the first time. Without further ado, let's pass on the mic to Computer Ayush to tell us about Heapsort. Thanks for that, Ayush. Now it's me here, Computer Ayush, ready to explain the Heapsort algorithm. Last episode, we finished talking about the fixed heap subroutine and understood the heapify step inside Heapsort that builds the heap. This time, we're going to talk about the final steps of Heapsort, go through a demo example, and try to calculate how much time it takes. There are only 3 more simple steps left in Heapsort. After we've built the heap, we loop from I equals n down towards 2, the second element of the list. Then we swap the first element of the list to the ith position, and then we fix the heap at position 0 and with length I. Let's understand what this does. A0 means the biggest element in the heap because it's a max heap. So this swap pushes the biggest element we have currently in the heap to the ith position. After this, we fix heap. Notice that we called the limit as I. You remember that the second argument of fix heap was the maximum length of the heap we had. So as we reduce I from n to 2, the length of the heap shrinks. We call fix heap at index 0 to indicate that we're going to fix from the root. So let's rephrase what this does. From I n to 2, we take the biggest element of the heap, move it to the ith position, then reduce the heap to size I, and then fix it, starting at the root. After the fix heap step, we get the new biggest element of the remaining set, which in the next set we swap towards I minus 1. Therefore, at every step, we find the biggest element that hasn't been sorted yet and swap it to the behind position. At every step, we have a subset of elements at the back that's been sorted. Let's now go through a real live example of Heapsort. Now, let's say we start with this random array of 8 elements. In the last episode, we saw how we can make a max heap of this set quite efficiently. Here, we have the biggest element, 8, at the top. In the first iteration of the Heapsort for loop, we move 8 from the top to the final position in the list. Then, we swap what was once at the final position, that is 1, to the top. And we shrink the heap. So now you can imagine that the heap has been shrunken. This 1 has been cut off and gone up to a place where 8 was. Meanwhile, 8 is now in the sorted portion of the list. We now have a 1 here at the top. Now we just want fix heap. As you know, fix heap involves finding the biggest of the 2 children, swapping the 1 down to that position, and then trickling it down further, again finding the biggest of the 2 children, which is 6. The end result is that we now have a fully fixed heap, with 1 again at the bottom, and the biggest element 8 taken out. We've taken out the biggest element, kept it in the sorted half, and now we have the new biggest element. We can now easily repeat this cycle. We take 7 and move it to the sorted portion. We swap 1 all the way to its position and we trickle 1 down until it reaches the correct spot via fix heap. We do this again. We swap 1 in front of 6, getting the maximum element of 5. And now the sorted sublist consists of 6, 7, and 8. Then we swap 2 on 4, trickle that down, and so on and so forth. We continuously take away the biggest element of the heap until the full thing is sorted. And that has been heap sort. It's simple really, once you understand what a heap is and what the fixed heap algorithm does to fix the smallest element into the right position. All done. Now all we need to do is figure out the time complexity. To understand the time complexity of heap sort, we need to understand the time complexity of three subcomponents: the fixed heap function, the heapify portion of heap sort, and the for loop inside of heap sort. First, the fixed heap function. Before we can analyze that, let's try to understand how the heap really looks like mathematically. The tree is divided into layers, and each layer has double the amount of elements as the previous one, which is guaranteed because it's a complete tree. So each layer is a power of 2, and because of that, the sum of all the layers will be 1 underneath a power of 2. What do I mean by that? Well, after one layer, we have one total element in the heap. With 2 layers, we add a layer of 2, so you have 3 total elements. With 3 layers, we add a layer of 4, we add 7 total elements. And these are close to the powers of 2, 2, 4, 8, and 16, which represents the fact that at any given layer, the total number of elements is always close to 2 to the amount of layers. So what this means then is that we can also write that the amount of layers, or the height of the tree, you could say, is equal to the opposite, log base 2 of the amount of elements. This is the bounded max of the height of the tree, log base 2 of the height, or at least O of that. Now that we understand the height of the tree, we can understand how much time fix heap takes. All this portion is quite simple. It's just basic comparisons, swaps, and multiplications. The real part that makes Hips heap time consuming is the recursion. This calls fix heap again, but only if largest is not equal to I, only if you move down an element. As an example, here we have 4 at the very top. It's smaller than 8 and we move down, and then we call fix heap again. This moves it down again, and therefore we move 4 from the top all the way to the bottom of the tree. So we just need to find out how many times this recurs. And the two things we know about it is that every time it recurs, we move down a step, and it stops recurring once we reach the end of the tree. That is, when we have no more children. That's because these comparisons check if the left child and the right child are existent within the heap. So if they're not, if we have reached a leaf node without any children, then largest will just be equal to I, this won't execute, and will stop recurring. So in other words, the number of times this recurs is the number of times we get pushed down a layer without reaching end, so until we reach a leaf. So in other words, what we've described is just the maximum height. In the worst case scenario, you start at the top and you go all the way down to the bottommost leaf. That's just height. As we mentioned, the height is O of log base 2 n. So, since this all above portion is O of 1, a constant, we come to the conclusion that fixed heap is O of log n. That was very easy. Now all we need to do is do the much shorter heap sort and we'll be done. Right? Wrong. There's a bit more complexity in figuring out the time it takes to run heap sort. Let's understand what this heapify portion of heap sort does. It starts at index n over 2, which is the very first non-leaf element in the heap, and it goes all the way until the top at the root. So let's say we have some sort of heap with one root, then two elements at the layer below this, and then we may have a bunch of smaller elements at the layer below. Now, the important thing you need to observe here is that since the lower elements have way more than the top elements, in heapify, we are much more likely to go to a lower element than to go to a higher element. Think of it this way. Let's assume we had a completely filled heap, like this. This is an ideal heap. Here, we have two elements, each of which only got one height to traverse through. Here, we have a height of 2, but there's only half as many elements. You could imagine that if we had one more layer below this, then we would have 4 elements with a height of 1, overpowering a height of 3 with just one element. So we can expand this to understand how much time this will take. Fixed heap has a time complexity, as I mentioned, of the height below an element. This is not just log 2 of n, the total amount, because if we are fixed heaping something very close to the bottom, then it will take a very short amount of time. So you can imagine that in an idealized hypothetical heap, approximately n by 2 elements will be leaves. And for the leaves, we don't count them. We only start at n by 2, the other half. So then, apart from the leaves, we have n by 4, which is a height of 1. Then, we have half as many, n by 8, at a height 1 layer higher, because as you go up a layer, the amount of elements is halved. Similarly, we have n by 16 at a height of 3, so on and so forth. So what this means is that we end up with an infinite series, which expands to n times I over 2 to the power I plus 1. And it turns out, if you sum this infinite series, you find that it doesn't go to n log n or to some wild number. It converges to a finite number we can estimate, approximately 1. So in other words, we know that the heapify step is always going to be O of n. It's not n log n. Even though fixed heap is log n and we do it n times, it ends up being O of n because the smaller, easier fixed heaps are done way faster. Now we can do the easy part, the for loop. This for loop is executed n times, and each time we do it, we fix heap from element 0, the root. And of course, when you fix heap from element 0, you have to go to the full height, which is log n. And you do this n times. What does this mean at the end of the day? It means that heapify ends up being an of n time. Brilliant. Beautiful. But the full heap sort algorithm ends up being dragged down by this for loop to be O of n times log n. N times we take away the highest element, and it takes log n to fix the heap once more. So O n log n, how does that stack up? Well, it's as good as a merge sort, which as we saw was also O of n times log 2 of n. And it's faster than the other algorithms such as quicksort and selection sort. But the reason why Heapsort is so good is because it doesn't require any extra memory. As you can see, over here, the heap is entirely stored within how we normally had the list. You double to get the children, you have to get the parents. Contrast this to merge sort, which is also n log n, but requires a lot of extra memory to do the whole merging process. So heap sort is very fast and it also takes a low amount of memory, which is perfect in applications where you know that you might get a worst case scenario input and you don't have much memory. Let's summarize what we did today. We understood the fixed heap algorithm's time complexity of log n. We discovered through this infinite summation that the heapify step ends up being O of n, not n log n, because the amount of small fixed heaps way overpowers the few large fixed heaps. We discovered that heap sort as a whole ends up being n log n, but since it takes no extra memory, memory is O of 1, which makes it an excellent sorting algorithm and a good example of using heaps to save on time complexity. Now, I'll pass over the mic back to Ayush. Thanks for that, Computer Ayush. Let's recap what we learned today. Today, we finally understood how heap sort works by repeatedly finding the biggest element in the heap, popping it off, and fixing the heap to find the new biggest element. We found that through an infinite series, heapify ends up being an O of n operation, and heap sort is n log n, which is tied for the fastest that we've ever seen in this whole series. Heapsort is a wonderful algorithm, and while learning about it, we also got introduced to the wide world of data structures. Thanks for watching. Before we leave you, let me leave you with this quiz question. In what common algorithm to find short paths are heaps commonly used? Tell me the answer, and I'll see you next time on the Funtastic Academy. Bye!